This is section 4.4, solving proportions. Our objective today is to solve proportions using unit rates, mental math, and cross products. For solving a proportion, if one of the numbers in a proportion is unknown, you can solve it for that unknown number. There are three different methods we can use. First is finding an equivalent ratio, second is algebra, and the third is cross products. I'll show you each of these three ways, and then you get to pick which way you use. Let's start by finding a common denominator. So 5 6 equals x over 16, or 18, sorry. Well, we know that 6 times 3 is 18. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of this ratio by 3. I get 15 over 18 equals x over 18. Well, if 15 over 18 equals something over 18, that something must be 15. So x equals 15. Done. Let's try this one. 2 over 7 equals x over 21. Well, we know 7 times 3 equals 21. So multiply the top and bottom by 3. I get 6 over 21 equals x over 21. So that means x must be 6, so that those ratios are equal. Try these three, either with a partner or by yourself. Use equivalent ratios, so get the same denominator. All right, for the first one, I multiply the top and bottom by 4. I get 12 over 32 equals x over 32, so x must equal 12. For the second one, I'm going to divide both by 5. So I get x over 2 equals 4 over 2, which means x must equal 4. And for the third one, I want to multiply by 4. So I get x over 48 equals 24 over 48. Oops, 48. So x must equal 24. All right, that is one method for solving proportions. Another method is to solve it as an equation. So think of this as x divided by 12 equals 2/8. To get rid of divided by 12, I multiply by 12. Now I just have x equals 2/8 times 12 over 1. I can cross cancel a little here. Divide these both by 4. I get 2/3. So I get 2 times 3 is 6. Over 2 times 1 is 2. 6 over 2 is 3, so x must equal 3. The final way to solve a proportion is to use cross products. So to use cross products, we take 5 times x equals 2 times 25. Well, 2 times 25 is 50. And now I just have a simple equation where I divide by 5, so x equals 10. A lot of people remember it as cross multiply and divide, because I'm going to multiply these two and then divide by this. So try these with your neighbor. You can use any method you would like. I'm going to show you using the cross products method. So 10 times x equals 3 times 100, which is 300. Divide them both by 10. I get x equals 30. For the second one, we'll go x times 54, which is 54x, equals 9 times 42, which is 378. Divide them both by 54, and x equals 7. And for the third one, we will do 2x equals 4 times 13, which is 52. Divide them both by 2, we get x equals 26. All right, now setting up a proportion, there are different ways you can set up a proportion. So we're going to set up a couple different ones. We're going to solve the problem using two different proportions, and you'll notice that we get the same answer. So yesterday you rode your bike 18 miles in 2.5 hours. Today you plan to ride for 3.5 hours. If you ride at the same rate as yesterday, how far will you ride? Let's zoom in a little here. All right. So method number 1 for setting up these ratios. I rode 18 miles yesterday, so let's put the 18 on top. And it took me 2.5 hours. Equals, so in my second ratio, the number of miles needs to go on top, and I don't know. And the number of hours needs to line up and go on bottom. So 18 over 2.5 equals x over 3.5. Now we're going to cross multiply and divide. 2.5 times x equals 18 times 3.5, which is 63. Oops, I forgot my x there. Divide by 2.5, and I get x equals 25.2 miles. Now let's look at a different way to set up the same ratio. Yesterday I rode 2.5 hours. Today I want to ride 3.5. So yesterday's goes on top. So yesterday I rode 18 miles. Today I want to ride, I don't know how many miles. Line up today, line up yesterday. All right, let's cross multiply and divide. 2.5 times x equals 3.5 times 18, which is 63. Divide by 2.5. We get x equals 25.2 miles. There are a couple different ways you can set up any proportion and still get the right answer. There are also a couple ways that you couldn't set it up to get the same answer. So if you would set up a proportion as 18 over 3.5, well, the 18 and the 3.5 don't go together. The 18 is from one day, the 3.5 is from a different day. They're not both hours, they're not both miles. That doesn't work. Any proportion I set up like that is going to be wrong. So make sure you just line up the things that go together. So let's try this one. You know the price of 6 oranges is $2.34, but you want to buy 8. Write and solve a proportion to solve it. Try it on your own. All right, for this one, there's a couple ways we could do it. I'm going to set it up as 6 oranges cost $2.34 equals 8 oranges cost I don't know how much. Now we solve. 6 times x equals 8 times 2.34, which is 18.72. Divide by 6, and I get x equals 3.12. So it is going to cost me $3.12 for 8 oranges. Here's your